This is CBN NewsWatch.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ephraim Graham. Twin wildfires are threatening some 10,000 homes in California, and firefighters are struggling to contain them. Adil Hurd is on this story.
The wildfires have been burning out of control from one end of the state to the other. The devastation is not just from the flames, but from the powerful winds the fire has created. The largest fire in California, the Carr Fire, has scorched more than 100,000 acres so far.
Yeah, all the pictures, everything. Let's go.
Some 12,000 firefighters are battling the blaze. Fire officials say they're making progress and say the fire is 23% contained. The Ferguson fire, which has threatened Yosemite National Park, is now 30% contained. More than 27,000 people remain evacuated. Ed Bledsoe lost his wife Melody and his two great-grandchildren, 5-year-old James and 4-year-old Emily.
Talking to my little grandson on the phone, he's saying, "Grandpa, please, you got to come and help us. The fire's at the back door." I said, "I'm right by you, honey. Just hold on. Grandpa's coming."
At least 4 firefighters have been killed in the line of duty. The latest, 33-year-old Captain Brian Hughes, who was killed by a falling tree. The fires were fueled by a triple-digit heat wave. Across the West, firefighters are up against 60 wildfires in 13 states. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Here now is a look at some of the other major headlines we're following for you today inside the CBN newsroom. Immigration officials are set to testify to the Senate Judiciary Committee today. Officials from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the Border Patrol, and other agencies will also appear before the committee. They're expected to answer questions about their struggle reuniting separated families. The committee also hopes to get answers on reports of sexual and other abuse of immigrants at government detention facilities. Generals from North and South Korea met today at their shared border for talks meant to ease decades-long military standoff. South Korean officials say the generals were discussing non-nuclear military issues. It is the second meeting of its kind since the Inter-Korean summit in April. No big announcements are expected, though, from those talks. President Donald Trump said during a joint news conference in Italy that he would certainly meet with Iran's president without preconditions. His statement sparked mixed reaction from lawmakers in Washington, D.C. Some are open to the idea if the Iranians are willing to talk about becoming a normal country. Others are calling it another bad recipe for bad outcomes. Now, for more on these stories and others throughout the day, be sure to check out cbnnews.com. Department of Justice top brass held a summit on religious liberty Monday, but some are demanding the Department of Justice take a closer look at itself after the FBI admitted to working with the controversial Southern Poverty Law Center. CBN's national security correspondent Eric Gonzalez explains.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions made it clear religious liberty is our first freedom, and the DOJ will continue to actively defend it. The Attorney General announced the formation of a new Department of Justice Religious Liberty Task Force. It's a direct result of President Trump's executive order directing federal agencies to respect and protect religious liberty and political speech. Sessions says the cultural climate in America has become less friendly to people of faith.
Many Americans have felt that their freedom to practice their faith has been under attack, and it's easy to see why. We've seen nuns ordered to buy contraceptives. We've all seen the ordeal faced so bravely by Jack Phillips.
Christian baker Jack Phillips was ordered by a Colorado civil rights to stop making all wedding cakes when he refused to create one for a same-sex wedding.
We had death threats. There were times where my wife was afraid to come to the shop just because she didn't know what kind of situation there would be. Some really, really dark times.
While the task force is a step forward, some want the DOJ to take a closer look at its own practices. Florida Republican Matt Gaetz is demanding answers from the FBI over the Bureau's working relationship with the Southern Poverty Law Center. Representative Gaetz wrote a letter to the FBI calling this surprising and worrisome, as the SPLC is known to use its platform in order to denigrate and disparage certain groups by labeling them hate groups. The SPLC has named the Family Research Center a hate group for its biblical positions on homosexuality and gay marriage. It's even tagged Housing Secretary Ben Carson with the hate label.
Southern Poverty Law Center is an arm of the extreme left. This hate labeling is totally illegitimate. It's contrived and it's for political purposes.
CBN News asked the DOJ for a comment. A spokesperson said the Attorney General ordered the FBI to reevaluate its relationship with groups like the SPLC to ensure the agency does not partner with any group that discriminates.
And if the FBI will follow through on that, I think it's a great day in America.
The SPLC was recently forced to apologize and issue a $3.3 million settlement to Maajid Nawaz, an outspoken critic of radical Islam, for including him in a list of anti-Muslim extremists. Eric Rosales, CBN News.
West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin is the first Senate Democrat to meet with Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh paid a visit to Manchin's office Monday, but many Senate Democrats are refusing to meet the nominee. Manchin voted to confirm Justice Neil Gorsuch, but said he is not yet ready to announce support for Kavanaugh. Also Monday, Republican fence sitter Rand Paul announced he will vote to confirm Kavanaugh. The University of Iowa has kicked 39 student organizations off campus. Their crime is failure to include the university's non-discrimination policy into governing documents. Some groups may have simply not known about the deadline, which came while most students are off campus for the summer. But faith-based groups in particular object to the policy, which requires clubs to accept any student as a leader, no matter their beliefs. One club has sued the university over the policy. Business Leaders in Christ says it was constitutional for it to reject a student for leadership who didn't sign its statement of faith, but the university said the group discriminated against that student. Coming up, how one organization is bringing together people from the United States and Israel, people who are on the front lines of war in the war on terror. We're going to have that story when we come back. U.S. intelligence agencies are monitoring evidence North Korea is building new missiles. It's happening at the facility where the country built its first intercontinental missile capable of reaching the United States. Reports suggest the activity doesn't indicate the rogue regime is increasing its capability, rather that work on weapons continues as President Trump and Kim Jong-un are in ongoing talks to denuclearize the Korean peninsula. The president has declared North Korea no longer a nuclear threat after his meeting with Kim Jong-un in Singapore. One U.S. official says the North is working just as it did before the summit, with the exception of dismantling a test site. While thousands of Christians have returned home to their villages in Iraq's Nineveh plan, few have returned to the city of Mosul. 30,000 Christians lived in Iraq's second largest city before the ISIS takeover. Church officials say so far only about 100 families have returned. Ken Timmerman, author of the new book ISIS Begins, tells CBN News Christians returning to that plan are hoping to establish their own police force for protection. But those who once lived in Mosul say they may never go back home.
In Mosul, they really need to root out these jihadi groups that are underground, that are still there. That's a real underlying problem. People are just afraid. They're afraid they will again be targeted.
And for more on this interview, be sure to watch Global Lane at cbnnews.com. Syria says it has completely ousted ISIS rebels from the Syrian Golan Heights, and civilians there fear a massacre by President Bashar Assad's forces. Assad now controls the Golan border with Israel for the first time in 7 years, and as fighting raged Tuesday near the southern town of Dara, there are reports Israel has asked Russia to prevent the slaughter of Assad's opponents. Israel evacuated hundreds of white helmet humanitarian workers and their families earlier this month, but hundreds more were left behind. One worker told reporters, "Our fate is worse than that of army defectors." The fight against terrorism is a major common bond between the United States and Israel. One organization is working to also bring together those on the front lines of this war from both sides of the ocean. CBN News' Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell shows us how.
This night's celebration of first responders showed how the close relationship between Israel and the United States goes beyond the country's leaders to those on the front lines.
We face not only similar enemies, we face similar threats. We are standing together. We are defending the same civilization, the same values, the same beliefs. We are you. You are us. We are fighting for the same cause, and we are deeply appreciative of everything you do to make America safe, because when America's safe, the world is safe.
U.S. Ambassador to Israel David Friedman recognized their bravery.
You are truly heroes. We owe you an eternal debt of gratitude. There's not enough I can say about you. Of course, that applies to the first responders in Israel as well, who keep us safe here.
The Advanced Security Training Institute hosted the event. It works with U.S. professionals by teaching them the latest security techniques from Israel.
So here in Israel, they love to share. The way I see it is I tell the U.S. first responders, when you come here, I don't want America to lose the blood that Israel went through and still going through, and to figure out what they're going to do to protect themselves. So come learn from us so you can save lives back home. Don't reinvent the wheel. They admit that it's because the training they went through in Israel, they were able to save lives in their community.
U.S. first responders come several times a year to train with their Israeli counterparts.
It's been amazing. We've been to the Gaza Strip. We've been through to the three borders. We've been to different critical infrastructures to understand how your country protects these infrastructures. I think most members of the team, if not all, have truly appreciated what we've gotten so far. To be honest with you, if I left today, I would go home with a wealth of knowledge, and I still have 3 more days to gain more.
It's been incredible. Everybody's been very friendly. Getting to see all of the stories that we hear on the news and the different things about the conflicts that are going on here, to see them up close and talk with the people that deal with this every day has been incredible. The security professionals are amazing.
9/11 served as the catalyst for this cooperative effort.
What the goal of this organization is to help first responders understand counterterrorism and cybersecurity from an Israeli perspective, because they have an immense experience and knowledge in these two areas. But it also really what's happened is we've built relationships between Israelis and Americans over the years that helps create a more secure United States. We need them and they need us. The state of Israel is God's chosen people, and as believers we need to support that.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Still ahead, part 2 of our series this week on how the bacteria in our gut can affect us in a wide variety of ways. Today we're going to show you how that bacteria can be either helpful or harmful to our health. That's next, and you don't want to miss it. CBN International led a 6-day medical campaign in Nigeria. The area is commonly attacked by Fulani herdsmen, resulting in deaths, injuries, and millions of dollars worth of property destroyed. CBN's medical campaign provided for free medical care for more than 3,500 people. Teams provided free medication, dental and eye care services, surgical interventions, and they gave vitamins to children and pregnant women. That led to more than 190 people praying to receive Christ as their Savior, and more than 30 rededicated their lives to God. Well, today we continue our in-depth look at the importance of keeping the right mix of bacteria in our bodies. New research shows the tremendous impact microbiome or gut flora can have on a person's health. As our CBN News medical reporter Lori Johnson shows us, it can influence nearly everything from the common cold to the most dreaded diseases.
Shocking as it may sound, when a person becomes sick and dies, too often doctors find the trouble started in the intestines because of a disruption in bacteria. Over the last decade, scientists in labs like this have been researching the impact of the gut microbiome on all types of diseases. What they've discovered is the good and bad bacteria in our bodies has a much more profound impact than previously thought. Dr. Jay Bajaj leads a research team at Virginia Commonwealth University. He says bacteria living in our intestines dramatically influences each aspect of our health, literally from head to toe.
Their potential is still being unraveled, to the point that even 10 years is too little for us to even scratch the surface of the amount of complexity and the potential that we have, both for good and for harm, in the gut microbes.
Harms such as liver disease, one of the leading causes of death and disability.
It goes from the spectrum of hepatitis, obesity-induced liver disease, alcohol, all the way to end stage with cancer as well as cirrhosis.
Dr. Bajaj says too much bad bacteria causes inflammation.
Inflamed liver doesn't do its job very well, the gut gets more inflamed, and this unfortunately leads to this cycle where patients find themselves into liver disease without knowing it.
And it's not just that problem that can sneak up on someone.
There are a number of diseases that have been linked to aberrations in the gut microbiome.
Johns Hopkins gastroenterologist Dr. Gerard Mullen, author of The Gut Balance Revolution, says folks need to know intestinal problems can lead to cancer and other life-threatening issues.
What's most alarming is that there are people out there who have rheumatoid arthritis, some kind of autoimmune disease, and a cardiovascular disease that may have a gut condition that is silent and is the cause.
He says while we may seem okay when we're younger, it eventually catches up to us.
When we reach our 50s, 60s on up, then all of a sudden it becomes more sensitive to the environment and less stable. So in particular, the elderly are more susceptible to variations in the environment that may disturb the microbiome.
The Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Gail Kreshe says the gut also profoundly affects thoughts and feelings, all thanks to the gut-brain axis, a well-traveled pathway between the mind and this crucial part of the body.
Gut bacteria secrete different byproducts, and some of the things that they secrete are neurotransmitters that leave the intestinal tract and signal to the brain, and these are things like serotonin and dopamine, and we know those then become into the bloodstream and can get into the brain and help affect mood, and so a lot of anxiety disorders, depression are related with alterations in gut microbiota.
Also Parkinson's, autism, Alzheimer's, and multiple sclerosis. An unhealthy gut can even keep drugs from doing their jobs.
So if you're taking an oral medication, that's being processed by your gut microbiome. And if you think about how some people are responders to medication and some people aren't, it could be because they have alterations in their gut microbiome than the other person doesn't.
This is the Mayo Clinic's anaerobic chamber, where scientists grow and study bacteria that die when exposed to oxygen. Believe it or not, we have a lot of anaerobic bacteria in our bodies because a good portion of our intestines are oxygen-free. Researchers here say the right kind of bacteria means the lining of our intestines contains tiny, helpful holes that allow microscopic nutrients into our bodies. Too much bad bacteria, however, causes those holes to grow.
Which means it allows more things to pass through, things which are not desirable. And yes, I mean, there's a lot of diseases, right? It's like celiac disease or inflammatory bowel disease, where the gut lining is not as robust.
Dr. Mark Hyman agrees, adding that when large particles leak out, the immune system sees them as invaders and attacks them.
Well, we've had a lot of insults to our gut, and that leads to disturbances in our own gut microbiome that creates breakdown in our gut lining, that creates a leaky gut, that creates inflammation that's linked to almost all diseases.
In his book, Food, Dr. Hyman outlines how to repair a leaky gut.
We need to understand how to restore the gut with probiotics and fiber and prebiotics. It's a massive public health problem, and I think it's led to a lot of other issues.
And we've got more on this heartbreaking research and heartbreaking research coming up tomorrow as well. Be sure to join us. Stay with us. There's much more CBN NewsWatch coming up right after this. And welcome back to CBN NewsWatch. Right now, it is time for your Tuesday Tweetable. It's a weekly thought meant to inspire and hopefully move you to post, tag, tweet, and share it with those in your circle. Everything you have with you now is not meant to stay forever. Shed the burdens and travel light into what lies ahead. Remember, God calls on us all to cast our cares on Him. Why? Because He cares for us. Even the very hair on your head is of concern to God. Think about it. The God of all the universe cares about you, and every single thought in your life matters to Him. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. We'd love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that by emailing newswatch@cbn.com. You can also always reach us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make this a terrific Tuesday. We'll see you right back here, same time tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody, and God bless.